Welcome back to the Culture Clash Comedy Podcast. I am Shafi from the East.
And I'm Dan from the West.
Thank you so much for all your support, Clashers. YouTube is popping off, baby. Everyone's coming and watching it, so go find the video long versions of the episodes on YouTube.
Yes,
right.
And today, who are our topics today?
Today we're talking about, I am very fascinated by the assassination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Do you know this guy?
Did he get killed for having too many names?
No, but that's good. That is good. I would like to actually find out like the longest names. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the longest name?
This guy flies under my, and I'm talking about Rupert Murdoch, and we're gonna get to them later.
So you're talking about that's the guy with the Succession, right?
That's the Succession guy, yeah.
I have never seen the TV show, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you?
Well, no spoilers. It's amazing. I mean, the TV show is unbelievable.
Good. Yeah, I don't know why I never got into it. I don't know why. I have no excuses.
How about this? It's
fiction?
It's fiction, yeah. Okay. There's a couple of things that like map pretty closely to Rupert Murdoch's life.
Sure.
But how about this? Rupert Murdoch, he's going through like there is evidence that in his prenups, like
how many prenups does this guy have?
I think he's on his like fourth wife, something like that.
Wow, he's like Muslim.
Yeah,
I love that. That's great.
It's one at a time, I believe.
Yeah.
So he is in the prenup. I think in his latest prenup, it's like, by the way, if we get divorced, you cannot tell the writers at Succession any facts about my life.
Wait, so fourth wife before Succession or after?
I think it's like post Succession, like success. I think they got like
it's like very new.
Thing. Yeah, he's 92. He's still kicking.
Okay. Before we get into that, let's tell the Clashers about the Patreon. We have Patreon.
Oh yes.
People, you gotta join the. It was so much fun we're having on Patreon. People are like telling us to do more Patreon stuff, but the idea is that we want to have 100 Clashers join the Patreon so we can do a live show. Like we are both touring individually, but we want to combine the fun.
Yes.
Combine the fun, bring you guys out there, do some fun games. So tell a friend to join. We have fun episodes on YouTube, clips on Insta, TikTok, and Patreon. So join that.
And Patreon's that's where we let our hair down. That's where we say the crazy shit.
I mean, I get naked. So if you want to see you both are hairy.
We are hairy, yeah.
Who do you think is more hairy, you or me?
I'd hate to find out.
I mean, we got to join the Patreon.
You got to join the Patreon.
That's where we find out. But what's going on in your week before we get into the big stories?
So we saw each other recently. Something that happened in between us seeing each other. So we saw each other yesterday.
Yeah.
I go home.
Yeah.
Go for a run. In the rain.
Yesterday, before you came, this is gonna come out Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah.
Dan and I saw each other Sunday because we go to Sunday church and we play ping pong. That's what we do. We are big ping pong heads.
It's interdenominational. All religions allowed, but the only thing is you got to be able to put some fucking backspin on the ball.
And whoever wins, he's the god for the next week or the next time you play.
So Shafi's the god.
I'm the god right now. But it was very competitive, very fun. A lot of our friends came by. We had some snacks and got to hang out. It was a fun time.
So then I leave there.
So you went for a run after?
After. Because I got to run.
You're disciplined as hell, dude.
Running in the rain.
I hate that.
Underrated. Dude, you leave your phone at home. You leave all your electronics at home. It's I enjoy it.
But do you get worried about like slipping? I worry about that. That's my fear.
Well, yeah, you got no ACLs.
No ACL. If I slip and then get the other one, it's gone. It's all over.
Yeah, so I would not recommend it you have to have 2 functioning ACLs. It's a very exclusive activity. It's only for people with 2 functioning ACLs.
So is that the highlight of the week?
Nope. I'm running over the bridge, Williamsburg Bridge.
Yeah,
that's my bridge. God. That's the bridge I run over.
So you pretty much ran to our place and back.
Yeah, I ran to your place, ran back.
Yeah.
As I'm running over, bunch of cops.
Okay.
On the middle of the bridge. Bunch of people in the rain. It's coming down real hard. There's people on the bridge looking up. There's cops climbing the bridge.
What?
There's
Climbing the bridge?
police boat on the East River under the bridge. All this like noise and stuff. It's like in the. I'm like, why are these people in the rain? I walk over to a guy. I'm like, who's standing and watching. He's like, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, there's a guy up there who's gonna jump.
No.
Yep. Guy up there gonna jump.
What?
I stand watching. I can't really like see him from like the angle. The guy's like, yeah, you can kind of see like his face from this angle. I'm like looking. I can't see it because there's all these like all the fucking beams and stuff.
Wait,
in
you
the
saw
way.
a live jumper?
I've
never seen a live jumper.
Dude, it's all the cops in like.
So they're trying to stop him from jumping.
They're trying to stop him from jumping.
What is he trying? Was he like part of the writer's strike? It's like if you don't end it.
They went up there.
Is that why? Because it just ended yesterday. You know that, right?
They went up there to be like the negotiations are close.
It's
the two sides are close to an agreement.
Calm down. I'm not gonna write anymore.
If you're an actor, it doesn't look close. They seem further apart. But if you're a writer,
there's hope. He's like, I'm an actor.
So I'm like standing there in the rain. I'm like, I can't. I'm not gonna stand here and watch this. I got to finish my run. I can't help. And there's like a weird like I don't even know if I want to watch. What like humans, we love watching car crashes and stuff.
Sure.
I was like, I don't even know if I want to be around for this.
Yeah.
So I keep running. Run back. Same bridge, same guy, same amount of cops. They're carrying him down.
Wait, how long was this run?
Like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Yeah.
Wow. How many miles?
4 miles.
Wow, that's impressive as hell.
Yeah.
So you go over the bridge, come back, and
they're bringing him down.
Okay, that's kind of nice.
It was kind of nice.
I saw a guy shot one. That was the most New York thing I ever had.
You saw what?
A guy get shot.
You saw a guy get shot?
I mean, I heard the noise, and then I was driving. I was driving from a show late night at like 11:30, driving back home, and then I turn, and then I see a huge blasting noise, and I just see a guy just holding his like abs.
Wow.
He was shredded too, which is crazy. Like you could just see like the blood come out, and there's like cop car just like ramming into that guy. I mean, like everyone is like coming to help him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gnarly. I was like, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like I would see that. It was like the scariest thing of all time.
So like, you're on the street, like, so you're just driving past. So this all
I
happens.
didn't stop.
Yeah.
I just kept driving. I just saw the guy for a brief second, and I saw a lot of cop cars and ambulances just trying to merge in that scene.
Wow.
And I saw the guy next to a trash can just like holding his
Yeah.
abs. So someone shot him and then ran away, obviously.
Okay. And the cops were already there, just like,
Yeah.
we had a feeling somebody was going to get shot.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they just know.
Yeah.
The cops just know.
That's the crazy thing about leaving your apartment in New York is
You don't know what's going to happen.
you don't know. And it feels like every time my wife leaves the apartment, I think we live in two different cities.
Yeah.
Because I come home and she's like, oh, did you like, I'll go to the store, come back. I don't talk to a single fucking person.
Yeah.
She goes to the store, comes back, and she's like, 2 people complimented me on my outfit. One guy
complimented like catcalling, or she liked it?
Or just like people just being like, nice. Like sometimes it's like, but like people interact with women. I feel like there's catcalling. Everybody knows about that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I've never talked to a woman on the street.
Dude, it's like we're living in two different universes. She's like, oh, this guy was fucking like, he was looking.
But also, Emily is very friendly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is.
Yeah.
I think like she also like kind of.
Dude, and
she's very inviting.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. I've got a beard on. Yeah. I have to like convince people like, hey, I'm not furious right now. Yeah. I one time
just look it. I'm like very nice guy.
Yeah. Recently I got on stage.
Climate. Yeah.
Recently I got on stage and I was like, hey guys, happy to be here, and they laughed.
Really?
Because they were like, we don't believe it. It was in like Virginia.
Oh my god.
So I just driven. I wasn't happy to be there.
Yeah.
The crowd was like really hot, and I was like, hey guys, happy to be there. Yeah. And they laughed. They were like, "No, you're fucking not." That's just my face. And then how was your week?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I saw a guy get saved.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
My week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
My week, nothing crazy. Like since the last time we saw each other, nothing crazy has happened. But I've been going to the dog park a lot. You saw the pups, the bigger dog, Fisher.
Golden retrievers, 2 of them.
Yeah, so the one of them is Blake's, not my girlfriend's. So we took that dog. It's weird when you take a dog to the dog park and it's not your dog.
Yeah.
Right? Because the dog will, they'll start playing, and then I don't know how they communicate, but like one of the dogs will start humping.
Yes.
Right? And it's always awkward when it's the dog that you're overseeing.
Yep.
Because because they try to hump once, shame on the dog, and then if they keep trying, it almost feels like they think that I trained the dog to do that. I'm like, I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't ask my dog. Also, take it as a compliment. Your dog's ugly as hell, and my dog's trying to give your dog some love. All right, your dog is not cute.
Yeah.
My dog is like handsome as hell. Everyone wants the dog. So it's really weird when you and the dogs are also confused. It's like, you guys do doggy style. That's my style. I'm just showing you how to do it.
Yeah.
I can't even do my thing that I'm known for. Like, dogs are known for that.
And they're all neutered.
That's their thing.
They're all neutered too.
Yeah, they're
just bang.
It's just like domination. Like, they like to dominate other dogs. And they're like, hey, I'm not. It's like a lesbian strap on, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing's gonna happen.
A dog humping your dog in a dog park in New York City. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what do you think is gonna happen? But you're not gonna get pregnant.
How about this? Okay, we don't let him hump the whole day, but let him hump because like anytime I'm at a dog park, and I just go to dog parks to watch dogs fuck. That's the only reason I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, some people do that.
Yeah, and
they
I'm
take
just,
out a camera.
Yeah, just let him
go home.
Just let him hump for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Don't just
get them like one pump
in.
Zero pump. That's like cruel.
That's animal cruelty. Talk about animal cruelty.
I think that is it.
Let them get 6 pumps
at least. You're getting all the because like all the dogs are like at their home with their owners, seeing them have sex.
Yeah,
and then they're doing doggy style, and then the dog's just confused as hell. Like, you do it, like I can't do it, and then it's like okay, then I don't know why am I here?
Yeah.
You brought me to this dog orgy, which is what they think in their head.
Also, in
like,
New
why
York,
do I need to have like 20 other dogs?
Yeah.
You obviously want me to have sex with these other dogs, right?
Yeah. And in New York, also, sexiest dogs on earth.
Oh my God, they have sweaters on.
You got French bulldogs with like
they have
glass
bow
blue
ties.
eyes.
Dude, I don't even have a bow tie. Dogs have like cute bow ties. They're like, they have like shoes. Have you seen a dog with the shoes? Like Jordans with like a Nike sign on the side. I'm like, how do you even? I've never had a Jordan.
And we're surprised when they hump.
Yeah, I mean, why? Yeah, they obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been thinking about that a lot, and I don't know how to help those dogs.
I think like in the same way that there's like lifeguards at pools, you should just have like a hump guard. Like a guy whose job it is to just like let the dog hump for like a little and then blow the whistle.
He knows when to stop, so we don't have to like get into the action. It's like, hey, like if the owner's like, oh, why don't I don't work here.
Yeah, go to the hump guard
police.
Yeah,
go to the hump police. He knows when to. He knows if your dog's drowning or not in the hump sesh.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to get into the guy, Rupert Murdoch?
Rupie
Mardy.
In the news because he just passed on.
This guy's rich, right?
He's billies.
How many billions does this guy have?
It's worth a look up. I mean, now less because end of November, I think, is when he's giving up his like control of the company over to Lachlan Murdoch.
Okay. Who's that?
That's his son.
How many does he have?
A couple. So he's got James Lachlan. I think there's a daughter as well. So it maps like pretty closely to the characters in Succession, which you've never seen.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. This guy, first thing you need to know about Rupert Murdoch, Australian.
What?
Yep.
So Emily loves her.
Loves him. Born in Melbourne. His dad had a bunch of newspapers. His dad died when he was real young, 21 years old. He inherits his dad's newspapers. Then he starts just like, he's pretty much just
he doesn't go to school.
No, he goes to school. So he goes to private school in Melbourne, Geelong. That's a fun.
It's called Geelong.
Geelong, pretty fun place to say.
Okay. Geelong.
Then he goes.
Was there a game like a tile game, Mahjong?
Mahjong.
Okay. Yeah.
Goes to Oxford. This is
Oxford University. He's smart as hell then.
Yeah.
Or Nepo.
I think he might have just been rich.
Yeah.
Also, Australian to Oxford. I mean, that's like a fucking 30-hour flight. Yeah. This is like, I think
3 days.
He was born in the 30s, so probably like in the 50s.
He was born in the 30s?
1931. He's 92 right now.
Guy's old as hell.
Yeah. This is incredible. This is a culture clash breaking news. He goes to Oxford. starts a newspaper at Oxford.
Yeah.
The title of the newspaper is ISIS.
No.
Yeah, that is
ISIS.
ISIS.
What does it stand for?
I mean, ISIS is like the Greek or the
the god?
Egyptian god. Yeah, ISIS. Yeah.
Oh, that's the name.
Yeah, but Rupert Murdoch literally founded ISIS.
I mean, that's how they're getting all this money to like support their cause in Syria.
Yeah.
Like, I was always wondering, like, how does ISIS? They probably are like somehow extracting money from the ISIS magazine he had funded.
There's
like, hey, we are ISIS.
I think he just really likes anything named ISIS.
Yeah,
That's the thing. He's not like okay, we might have different beliefs, but hey, same name as that
Same
newspaper
name.
I started
We like
in college.
it. We like it.
Yes, huge news.
So he starts a magazine company.
So his dad had a newspaper company. It was called News Limited. So News Limited was a newspaper company in Australia.
So limited news.
Limited news. Well, it's become limited, very limited news now.
Because it doesn't exist.
Because there's almost no news. Or there's almost no facts. It's all just fucking...
Oh, because it's Fox News right now.
Yeah.
So he goes to Oxford.
Yes.
Then starts a newspaper. Already has a newspaper in Australia running.
Yeah.
Called Limited News. What's next?
So his dad was also a journalist. How about
His dad was a journalist?
His dad was a newspaper executive and a journalist. He goes to Oxford, studies philosophy, politics, economics.
Wow, how many majors does this guy have?
A couple.
Holy moly.
1952, at the age of 21, Rupert Murdoch inherits News Limited, which at the time was just a media company, so it owned a bunch of newspapers, radios in Australia.
How did his dad make money just having newspapers?
He was a journalist and a newspaper executive.
Okay.
I don't know if it started before then, but like the idea, it's also funny too, like because I think like one of the tenets of conservatism is like pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Anybody can make it, and it's like.
So is Rupert Mardy, is he considered to be like a self-made man?
Well, he inherited a lot from his dad. He inherits like the initial newspaper company from his dad.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that's a big step up. Just like it's kind of maybe similar to like a Musk situation.
Elon Musk?
Yeah, inherits money from his papa.
Yeah, but did you read the book or know about the book that came out recently about the Muskie?
The Isaacson book.
Yeah, the same guy who wrote the Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah, Steve Jobs one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. Do you know anything about it? It doesn't seem to paint Muskie in a good
No,
light.
it's not bad. It's not bad for Muskie. Like the only bad thing they talk about in the book is apparently that he has demon mode.
Okay.
You know about this mode where he becomes devil and just forgets what he's doing, apparently.
He disassociates?
Yeah, pretty much. Like he'll like yell at like his employees, but then when whatever he's like trying to achieve gets achieved, and then people like, remember how you did that? They're like, when did I do that?
Do you think it's like do you think he actually doesn't remember, or it's just like a defense mechanism?
I think he's just lying.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is brilliant for sure, but I mean, there's no need to be. I mean, he's bipolar for sure.
Diagnosed, or you just like speculating?
I think. I mean, he's on the spectrum 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is smart as hell, but does Rupee have anything like that?
Rupee's got a couple. So like,
by the way, Rupee is also the Indian currency. I'm sure you know this.
Yeah, Rupee's going up.
Yeah, Rupee.
Is it? How many rupees can I don't know.
I'll look it up as you find out. I mean, it's pretty good. Rupee, 1 USD to rupee. Is that what you're trying to find out?
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Yeah, go ahead.
So he's pretty much like Pac-Man, just eating up all these news companies. Ends up getting buying out 20th Century Fox. That's a big one.
How much money was that?
I'm not sure. It was in 20th Century Fox. It was in 1985. He launches Fox News in 96. He splits off News Corporation.
So he launches it like during the Reagan era?
Yes.
Okay.
96. So this was post.
Oh, 96.
Yeah.
So Clinton era.
So Fox News, yeah. So that's like kind of when like conservative anger at Clinton like reaches like these like fanatic levels.
Sure.
And obviously,
And Rush Limbaugh is like the biggest conservative at this time, right?
in '96, I've listened to like other stuff.
What is he doing in '96? I think like Rush wasn't Rush one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh is also dead.
Yeah, he just died like last year, right?
Yeah, I wrote a joke about it. I can't remember why, but Rush Limbaugh, he died of cancer, and he proved that cancer can get cancer.
That's really funny.
Pretty good, yeah. You can really only use it on like a couple of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So Fox News launches in '96. In 2013, he splits the news conglomerate side, so the News Corporation, into 21st Century Fox, which is wild how many good movies it's made, and you like really never think of like
Fox News or Fox Corporation.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox.
He owns that too. He owns the movie business.
Yeah, so he split 21st Century Fox and News Corp. Those are two now like separate entities. Couple of scandals. You want to know why? Because everybody thinks like, oh, I don't like that guy.
I'm surprised that you didn't bring up the scandals yet.
The scandal. I'm painting. We got to give everybody
fair shot.
Fair shot.
Of course.
2011 phone hacking scandal. This one happened in England. One of the most significant scandals involving Rupert Murdoch is 2011. Journalists at the now defunct British tabloid News of the World, which was a Murdoch-owned company. News of the World journalists were accused of hacking into the voicemail accounts of celebrities, politicians, crime victims, and even a murdered teenager, Millie Dowler. The scandal led to the closure of News of the World, multiple arrests and convictions, and inquiries into media ethics and practices.
What is he doing in London?
He bought a bunch of newspapers in London.
So he just likes to buy newspapers.
Yeah,
it seems like.
And then influence them. So what are the major things that he has influenced? He was real into pushing the Iraq War.
But I'm assuming he also wants to make money. How is he making a profit? Is it because a lot of people are lobbying for him to do this?
Advertising.
Okay,
so advertising in the newspapers. If you make salacious headlines, people buy more advertising, or people buy more newspapers. You can sell more.
So if there's a war, there's always more advertising because there's more people buying the news because they're afraid of what's going on.
Yeah, and so a couple of things that he was like real gung ho, and I read an article that was like, we can't prove that he caused these things, but definitely pushing in that direction. Iraq War, all of his newspapers everywhere was like fully on board for the Iraq War. There's evidence that he had like called Tony Blair, who was the prime minister.
He has like the number of Tony Blair.
Yeah,
this guy?
And he was like, if you go into Iraq, we will support you 100%. And there's
like via Fox News.
Yeah,
was Fox News active at that time, right?
Yeah. So
when did Fox become like prominent in the? Because I didn't really hear about Fox News till I moved to the US. Like I just knew about I knew about BBC, I knew about CNN. I didn't really know about Fox News that much. When did that
around? I mean, since '96, I'd say 2016, because it becomes like the highest rated news. It is the highest rated news site. Because there's like a lot more, I guess, liberal factions. So they kind of split, and then Fox is just like headlining the conservatives every night. Yeah, every single night.
Why do you think that is? Because there's like C-SPAN. Is that conservative?
No, there's
C-SPAN is not, but like Fresh News or something.
It's just Fox News, and then there's been competitors. So post 2020 election. So one thing that Fox News did is they called Arizona early. They ended up being correct, but a lot of people split off of that to try and start watching like One American News Network.
One American one. And then, that's the one.
Newsmax.
And
both of those are ridiculous.
Right. They're like
factors.
Very far right. Just
super.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how far right those could be.
Yeah, and also because so a couple of things that Fox News and like. So there are people who, back to my earlier point, there's like speculation that Britain would not have gotten into Iraq if Rupert Murdoch doesn't promise Tony Blair like good coverage.
Are you serious?
So that's what one of the articles that I read said.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
I don't think Tony Blair still like, he never apologized for it. Like he still like kind of stands his ground. It's like, we did the right thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember like seeing like an interview like way after, and he was like, we did the right thing.
There's a really interesting to talk about. I mean, all obviously Fox News is like juggernaut. There's one poll that I saw that was like 4 out of 10 Fox News viewers believes that we found weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Wow.
And that's like the whole thing was hinged on like, okay, there's going to be weapons of mass destruction. Never found.
Right.
But the push and the revisionist history of Fox News is they're like, I mean,
what did they show them? Like, did they show them weapons?
I don't know.
Like they found like a gun. They're like, oh, that's the weapon.
That's a weapon of mass destruction.
We found that weapon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So what does he do after this?
Real bad. So now he's riding off into the sunset, right? He's handing it off to Lachlan.
Yeah.
Lachlan just fucking lives in Sydney. Doesn't even live in the U.S.
Why?
Because, well, if you've ever been to Sydney, Sydney's beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
There's a reason. Yeah, but like, so now this...
he doesn't really care about American politics then.
No,
I would
or
assume.
like English politics necessarily, which is kind of wild. Like,
so is Fox News also active in England?
No, it's I can't. I don't know what like the current holdings are, but there's like the Sun is one of the like gross tabloid newspapers.
I've heard about Sun.
Yeah, so he owns like a couple of them. I can't remember what the what the English version is, but he's still. I mean, it's still. We're talking about Fox News like it's the past tense. It's still fucking shaping events to this day.
Yeah.
There's Iraq. There's Brexit. There's the election of Donald Trump.
He influenced Brexit as well.
Yeah, they one of the newspapers that he owned in England actually registered as a lobbying group.
Oh wow!
Like while the coverage was going on.
Sure.
Which is something I can't even think of. Like, yeah, so they were pushing Brexit. Like Brexit only wins by 4%.
So this guy loves being conservative, like, or he just wants to make money. What is it? He like truly is a conservative guy.
Yeah, but also who knows if any of these things are. I don't know if it's hard to say, right? Like, is Trump is good for business. Trump is good for the news.
Sure.
Is he good for the conservative movement?
No.
I don't know. You know what I mean? They haven't won an election recently.
I mean, Trump seems to be I don't think he's that conservative. Like, he will come out and like say that he doesn't really care about like the abortion stuff. He's like, they're gonna lose. The Republicans are gonna lose if they keep trying to push this. And he was like smart about that. It's like, yeah, like that's like I think most of the country thinks that there needs to be some kind of allowance where women can have the right to choose, or like 6 weeks or whatever. But if you want to do a complete total ban, he's like, the Republicans are like, at times you like speak in a way that he's not Republican. He's like, I don't think that's right.
And he kind of shifts whatever he says becomes Republican.
Sure.
It's kind of like after the fact.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of that's why he's so disorienting.
Sure.
He like says the news and then he just like, and then it just
becomes the
news.
Yeah.
So that's my Rupert Murdoch. Now we're stuck with Lachlan Murdoch. We'll see.
What about, so tell me, do you know anything about the 4 wives? Because I'm always curious about how that works.
Yeah. How many wives?
How many? Because you said he had 4.
Yeah, I think he's up to 4 now.
And then, do we know anything about these? In Succession, do they like? So you saw all of Succession.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
So how do they portray him in Succession, like that TV show? Succession.
Yeah, it's interesting. Brian Cox. So like, it's not a 1-to-1 like Brian Cox. What I can't remember the character's name. Logan Roy instead of Rupert Murdoch.
That's a good name.
Yeah. And Brian Cox as the actor does like unbelievably. So there's like Brian Cox or Logan Roy's from Scotland, not Australia, is self-made, like from dirt poor to like gigantic mogul.
Yeah.
And it's really not clear what his leanings are either. I mean, he's just so consumed by like the business, and that's one thing I didn't know about until I read about Rupert Murdoch, is just like, it's all about acquisitions.
Okay.
Like I'm just going to take that. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take that company. I'm going to take that company. So like, who, in terms of like ideology, it might be secondary to just like fucking consuming other companies, which I guess is just like more power and stuff. At least that's how he's portrayed on the show.
Okay. Yeah. So he's just like a big merger guy.
Like kind of like a, I'm trying to think of like anacondas like eat foods that like they just like consume and just like well beyond when they're full. Like, yeah, that's what he's kind of like an anaconda.
And what about his like love life and like his relationship with the kids in the TV show? Is it
not great?
No.
Yeah, and that's also like, so it looks like,
so the show is all about like who's gonna be succeeding him, right?
Correct.
And
yeah.
Who gets it? The son? Do they predict it right?
Not the son. I mean, we'll spoil it. Do you want it to?
I'm not gonna watch it. So yeah,
it's his daughter's husband gets it.
How does that even work out?
Uh,
That's how much he hates all the
well,
kids.
he dies.
And
He dies in the show.
and then how did the daughters?
So
husband get
the
it?
new guy comes in and he's like a tech bro, and he sees Tom is the name of the guy. He's the head of Fox News on the show.
Yeah.
And the tech guy realizes that Tom is like a pain sponge. Those are like the exact words. Tom is like, I'll fire everybody. I'll take all of the abuse for you. And that is really appealing to the guy who owns all the holdings. So he makes Tom the CEO.
So Tom is the son.
He's the son-in-law.
Son-in-law. So who's the guy? Who's the other guy?
His name is Matson. He's like
He's the son?
Norwegian. Yeah, he's a Norwegian guy.
So he's a son.
No, none of the sons get it.
So who's how did the Norwegian
Guy buys in. He's
he buys all of it.
Yeah, he buys in, yeah. So he's like the owner of like he has like a bunch of shell corporations.
Right,
And
right.
then
So Succession, no one really succeeds. The kids don't.
nobody succeeds.
But it's isn't the entire show about the kids trying to win?
Yeah, and it's also a job that like, does anyone want it?
Sure.
Is it enjoyable? Is it even possible?
Yeah.
And it's, they're still fighting for it. Like it's asked over, like, is this worth it?
And
Is
in
this
the
worth
real
it?
life, is that like similar dynamics?
Yeah, similar dynamics. So Lachlan was completely out of the News Corporation world. The phone scandal happens, and then he rejoins the company.
Okay.
And then he's able to kind of like the article like says that he kind of like steers people, like rallies the troops, and is like, we're gonna make it through this scandal.
Okay, so like walk me through this. For example, put yourself in the shoes of Rupert Murdoch,
Yeah, Rupert Murdoch.
and you're 92, and you're about to give your company away. Is he like? He just like stepping down as CEO, president?
Yeah, I think he's handing. I don't know the exact wording, but like Lachlan is now going to be the head of like News Corp and 21st Century Fox. And I'm sure
Okay.
he has like other holdings too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you enjoy that job? Would you do it?
I'd say it's like probably. I think humans are like every human within them is like an addict for power, but most of us never get power.
So yeah, so once you're there, you would probably feel it.
Yeah. Like I've seen it like.
Do you have you ever seen that shift in you? Like, ooh, this is nice.
There was one time I was at a show. It was like a headlining show, and the host.
You were headlining.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
headlining it, and the host came into the green room, and the host brought a friend, and they were talking.
And you're like, you can't be fucking doing that.
But that I left, but I recognized that thought in me where I was kind of like, you guys are like
annoying me.
annoying me.
Yeah.
So I didn't, like-
that's a shift. That's a
There
shift.
was a shift. It was for sure.
Because
a
if
shift.
you were the host and you saw a headline, you would be like gracious. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But then once you switch, you're like, get out of my room.
Because it was like, I was like, okay, like kind of
It's
engaging
my
in it. And then the
room.
two of them just like break off into this conversation. about,
name.
nothing. And I was kind of just like, that is not.
Yeah.
So I recognized that within myself. I didn't act on it.
Sure.
But I was like, that's a new thought.
Yeah.
Where I've never been in a position of like high status within comedy.
in that realm. Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, oh, this is how rock stars can be like,
yeah.
like destroy
it can
hotel
shift.
rooms and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like yeah.
So I think we all have that like button within
Yeah.
us.
Once you go to that level, you're like, it can get activated.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
to get to that level
Yeah.
took, and in I think most people's lives, it takes many, many years.
Sure. And then
I-
it shifts right away.
I think it's probably like 100 of those.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to like sell out like a Radio City Hall, and then I
Yeah.
come to the green room. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come here.
But then
Just wanted to congratulate and drop some flowers.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here, Shafi.
I'm allergic to flowers.
Yeah, you don't know me.
We did 700 podcast episodes together. You didn't know that I'm allergic
You never
to
even
flowers.
asked me if I like flowers. These are roses. I like tulips.
Yeah.
Hell
so
yeah.
Rupert Murdoch. Who knows?
Oh, what a guy, dude.
A
4 wives.
A human Australian tragedy.
Didn't
Also-
even know he was Australian.
all of
That's the saddest part, that he's Australian and he did so much damage to American politics.
And one thing I'll say before we move on.
That's why Emily should go back. Emily, I'm sorry.
Go home.
I know, I love you, but
Australians look at Americans, they're like, oh, you guys are fucking crazy. Like,
yeah, I
what's
mean,
the-
your
what's the
guy
fucking
did it,
deal?
dude.
And it's
Yeah.
like, thanks. You're the
you
fucking reason.
you did it.
Looking at us like we're crazy. You sent us your craziest person.
motherfucker. Yeah. That's so funny.
So that's
dude.
the history of Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch, baby. That's a good one. So I'm gonna talk. Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Do you know this guy? Have you
All
ever
I know
heard?
is that he's dead now.
He's dead. Okay, so like do you know anything about the religion, Sikh religion? Do you know anything about?
I know there's warriors.
What? Wrong. What do you mean
they
warriors?
come from like a warrior. They have like little daggers.
Little daggers.
Yeah, little daggers.
What are you?
Look it up. Sikhs have little daggers.
I've never heard this, dude.
Sikhs have little
That's so
fucking
funny.
daggers.
I've never heard this, but
Nah, but I don't know anything else about the
okay. So let's do a brief history of the religion Sikh.
Yeah.
Sikh religion. Sikhism was founded in the 15th century in the Punjab region. Okay, the Punjab region now is divided between Pakistan and India, but in the so they started in the 1500s. And it was the basic principles of like equality, belief in one God. They do have a sword. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're thinking about the sword. They have like a ceremonial sword.
Fucking check the notes.
Ceremonial sword, and they have 10 gurus, and the gurus are like the ones that kind of are the head of the religion, I guess. They do a lot of community and service, meditation. They have pillars. They have universal brotherhood, social engagement. They care about community. So that's pretty much the basic tenets of Sikhism. And this guy, his name, the guy who was assassinated allegedly by India. Mm-hmm. That is kind of crazy that a country can just be like accused of a killing.
Yeah, 1 billion people, they all signed off on it.
Yeah, it's like we did it. Yeah. We all did it. So this guy, his name is Hardeep Singh Nijjar. He's a Canadian resident, but he wasn't a Canadian resident always. Mm-hmm. All right? That's where it gets interesting. So I'll give you a quick... So the Sikhs used to be... they had like their own state before the British got... Okay, British are involved. I'm sorry. No. There it is. Yep. The East India Company is involved somehow. Mm-hmm. You saw it coming already. Yeah. So they used to be a own state in the part of India, like India before the Brits took over. So they had their own state. They had the religion there. They're like, they had an empire, and then they lost to the East India Company. And then they became part of the British Raj India. Mm-hmm. And then when partition was happening, right, in 47, there's like 25 to 30 million Sikhs, which is not like a small number. That's like a big amount of people. Mm-hmm. And so they also wanted to be a separate state, right? So when British was like, we're going to divide this along religious lines, and to Muslims and Hindus, they're like, hey, can we also get a pie?
While you're at it.
Yeah, let's also like get us some stuff. Mm-hmm. And the British were like, no, we're not gonna give that to you. So they kind of got engulfed between Pakistan and India. Mm-hmm. A lot of the Sikhs who were living in Pakistan moved to the Indian section of the Punjab. Mm-hmm. So since then, there has been some movement where they wanted a separate state. It's called Khalistan. Mm-hmm. Okay, the state of Khalistan. I blame the Jewish people for this. Yeah. Because they are the first ones who were able to do that, where we want our own country of our religion, and it worked. So like the Sikhs are like, oh, maybe we can do it too. Yeah, so it's like you start a precedent. Yeah. Other people are the Scientologists are gonna start doing it. They're like, hey, can we get the state of Rhode Island? We would love that. The big charge. I'm like, no, you can't just have Rhode Island. We go to Newport for weddings. And we can't go if you're there.
That's the reason,
So they wanted their own state, couldn't get it. So they were and then a lot of Sikhs actually were the first. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Sikhs, in my research, I have seen that Sikhs were one of the first people that moved to like Canada and the US. So they were like one of the first ones who kind of immigrated to these countries and had like a diaspora here, UK and Canada. So in India, the Khalistan movement kind of got squashed. Yeah. Obviously, right? Like
you can't be asking for a new country.
Yeah, you can't like everyone be like, I want a new country. Like it's not, And I get you wanting a new country, but it's just like not always feasible.
They also were previously a country or an empire.
Yeah.
It's not without precedent.
Yeah, there's a precedent. And like I mean every minority wants their own country.
Yes.
Right? Like it's nothing new. It's happening all over. but you're a minority, so watch your steps.
When you become a majority, maybe we talk.
We'll think about it.
Yeah.
But I get it completely because there's always religious persecution, right? Like Sikhs also, like Sikhs and Muslims in India get, there's like a lot of religious tensions there. Similarly, I'm not saying that doesn't happen elsewhere. In Bangladesh, there's like, Hindu are the minority. They face a lot of those same persecution, right? It's like, it's the same everywhere you go. But this guy, let's talk about him, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. He was he's an Indian born in 1977 in October 11, and he was one of those separatists, right? So this guy has like this guy is really interesting. So in Canada, he's viewed as a human rights activist, right? But India thinks he's a criminal.
Okay.
Obviously, it's two sides of the same coin. There's a militant group in India called the Khalistan Tiger Force, which is a cool name.
Coolest name.
I like that name. Yeah. Better than ISIS as a name, I would say. So India has been trying to get him arrested. In Canada, he kind of, this guy, I'm going to call him Nijjar, he kind of rose to prominence in 2019 once he took the leadership of Guru, Nanak Sikh Gurudwara in Surrey, British Columbia, right? And then obviously we know now he was killed in June. We just found out. I didn't even know about that, but the news got heavier in this month, last week.
Okay. Yeah.
So what Canada was doing a lot of research into what was going on, and then finally, it is kind of crazy when a prime minister of a country openly addresses this.
Yeah,
comes out, it's like, hey, India did it.
Yeah,
and India, and so they have like a very intense relationship between India and Canada. Now trades are stopped. In India they're stopping giving visas out to Canada, so there's like they're like restricting travel, they're like throwing out diplomats out the country.
Yeah,
it's like the initial things that you do. You're like you get into a problem, they're like, let's throw them out.
Yeah.
So that's going down right now. But the backstory is there's a lot of so Sikhs always wanted their own state. And I don't know, do you know Indira Gandhi? She was like the prime minister of India.
Gandhi's daughter?
They're not.
No.
She's not the daughter of Gandhi.
Okay. Yeah, but there was a daughter.
I don't think so. That would be crazy if they are, but I don't think Indira Gandhi is related to Mahatma. Mahatma. I just Googled it and they're not related.
Okay.
Thank God.
Classic example of the white guy thinking that all the brown people are related.
Yeah. But that's not a crazy thing to associate.
Yeah.
Their last names are Gandhi.
Yeah.
Right? But Indira Gandhi, so there was an event in a temple of India, in the temple of the Sikh temple, where Indira Gandhi had to send like troops to get the Sikhs out. Like there was like a movement where they like really wanted their state to be independent, and Indira Gandhi sent troops to get them out of the temple. It was like the most. It's like going to Mecca. Similar idea. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people died, a lot of bloodshed, and then Indira Gandhi had two bodyguards who were Sikhs, and they assassinated her.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you should have seen that coming. You kill, you know what I mean? You
go to the Prime Minister of India?
Yeah, and then a lot of anti-Sikh sentiment was across all of India.
Yeah.
For obvious, you can see, and then the Indian government didn't really squash it right away. They're like, you know what, that's what they get, kind of a thing, which is like kind of crazy, because it's your people. Just because two people did that doesn't mean that all the others deserve the same thing. So there has been a lot of tension since then. So people like Nijjar and other UK heads or like big leaders in the Sikh movement, like Zionism, but for Sikhism, I guess, but similar ideas in the sense that they want their own state, the right to have their own home.
Yeah.
So India has been like really cautious about not letting this be a thing because they obviously don't want a separate state. Yes. Right? That would be crazy.
And recently, like Hindu ultra-nationalism is kind of how you describe Modi.
Sure. And so India is like a global player now. It's like their economy is they're amazing. They have the biggest leaders, in the nation who are like kind of running all of Silicon Valley.
Best cricket in the world.
Best cricket in the world. They're just crushing it everywhere, right? So the West kind of needs India as well to kind of counterbalance China's influence. So India has been becoming like a bigger. So what Canada was doing, they have this alliance with it's called the Five Eyes, where they have intelligence coming from U.S., Canada, Australia, UK, and New Zealand. I don't know what New Zealand is doing.
Yeah, and obviously all that spells together. It's Five Eyes.
Five Eyes.
Yeah,
exactly.
No need to clarify or explain.
Yeah. So they have proof somehow that linked the assassination of Nijjar by someone from the government of India, right? And I don't know how that ever gets proven. Like, I don't think Modi called the guys like, "Hey, go shoot the guy in the pickup truck," right? Like, he was coming out of his temple, and then masked gunmen. And you know what's the funniest part? The people saw like there was like a car that was waiting with the masked gunmen they ran into. It was a Toyota Camry, and that's how you know it was someone from India, because I don't think white people are using Toyota Camry as a driveway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not using what's the term? Driveway car?
Getaway car.
Getaway car. I don't think you would use a Toyota Camry.
We'd use a Ford pickup truck.
You'd use a Ford or Chevrolet. Yeah.
American made in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how.
Well, what's the crime that he's like? What's the crime that like? So is he like a? Did he get deported from India, or are they like, you're too much of a nuisance?
Okay, so
how does he end up in Canada?
So how does he end up in Canada? So he has been getting involved in like that separatist movement in India, right, for a while, and so they obviously didn't like that. So he kind of came to Canada under a fake name in 1997, and then said that he's gonna get persecuted and he's gonna get killed if he goes back. So he sought asylum.
Okay, so he's an asylum seeker for his nationalist tendencies.
Exactly. So that's how he kind of ended up in Canada, and then from Canada he was just like also still influencing like somewhat of Canadian Sikh politics, because there's like a big Sikh population there. So a lot of people are saying right now that Trudeau is also trying to appease that population, because they vote. So there's a lot of like lot of confounding factors that's playing into what is going on right now. But the main gist of it all is back in 1997 he was already being looked into by the Indian government, right? So
that's 30 years of just not liking this guy.
Yeah, so Nijjar arrived in Canada February 10th, 1997 under the fake name Ravi Sharma. Then he married a Canadian woman and got citizenship, I guess, which is a sick move.
Yep. Classic move.
And then India, like whenever there's like some kind of a extremist move, like killings or whatever that's going on in India with the Khalistan Tiger Force group, they always kind of tie it back to him that he did it. So India has been requesting Canada to look into him for a while.
Yeah, extradite maybe.
Yeah, and then they were saying that. And then Pakistan and Indian relations are obviously not that good.
Nope.
So Nijjar, India was saying that Nijjar was using the Pakistani intelligence to get weapons into India using a paraglide.
Okay, so they think he's like paragliding it.
Yeah.
Or like he's telling people how to paraglide.
And then he wrote a letter to Trudeau saying that this is like a bad Bollywood fiction plot, right?
Yeah, I'm not paragliding.
I'm not paragliding.
Nobody I know is paragliding.
So like the thing is that this guy has been involved in like high, intense scrutiny from both countries for a while, and now it's all kind of unfolding and unraveling in front of me. I didn't even know about this guy, and then this story is really, really interesting, like of how it all ties back to the 1500s.
Yeah.
So,
and I think there's more details. You want to get even juicier in the Patreon.
I mean, I saved the wreck of the week, which is kind of fun.
Well,
so let's roll over.
Let's roll over to the Patreon. If you liked everything that you saw, click the link in the description. Patreon.com.
Tell a friend. Patreon.com/Culture Clash Comedy Podcast.
Culture Clash Comedy Pod.
And
the links in the bio.
Yeah, links on the bio.
See you
New episodes come out every Wednesday.
Yeah. See
Thanks
you on
for
the Patreon.
joining. Bye.